Out there in YouTube land, madams. I hope if I could even speak this morning. um, I hope today finds you well. I'm going to set up this survey for us. I'll be right with you. They're slow and steady, nice and easy. Today we're going to talk a bit about regret and what that means. How we struggle to let go of certain things at certain times and how that can make that whisper consume us so completely. But we're going to start off nice and slow. Here with you this morning, good sirs and madams in YouTube land. Looks like we already have somebody. Hey, it's good to see you this morning, good sir. We got to get some coffee rolling today. I hope the day finds you in a place of acceptance and appreciation outside of this regret that may consume us. I found myself not dwelling on it yesterday, but really kind of reflecting on regret in general and how it creeps up on us yesterday, and just wanted to kind of chat about it. We find our way out. We ever truly heal from it? And should we ever truly heal from certain regret? The lessons that come along with this regret that we find ourselves in can be pivotal for who we are. Scott, hope all is well. You as well, Jay Phillips. I hope you're holding up together. I can't speak today for some reason. I hope you're holding up well today, good sir. At Schnikes. We might not. Where the heck? I lost everything. There it is. All right. Having one of them days, guys. Pardon my ass. There we go. All right. Loot-de-doo-de-little-dee. Brianna Jade, good morning, Scotty. Hope you are really just to say I love you and appreciate having you as a big brother. I hope you have a great day too, Brianna. It'd be good to hear from you here sometime. Actually see you. I know it's been a while and life is lifey everywhere. But it'd be nice to share a meal with you there, little sis. That's the point. Open, honest, respect, and love, and communication. Setting down the regrets of our life. There's plenty of regrets that I could pull from in our relationship. Not things I wish I would have done better. Wish I could have been a better brother. Wish I could have held my emotions and understood how to help you better in certain aspects. I'm not going to let that consume me. But what we will do is recognize it and become something more, so we don't have to live in that regret. We both deserve better than the torment that we've put ourselves through. And we put each other through. That's the reality of it. I love you deeply. It doesn't mean that our relationship hasn't been painful. But I'm glad that we talk now. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're part of my life. It means a lot. I hope you have a blessed day as well and find a way not to live in that regret that consumes us at times. It can be a complicated thing. Feeling a little anxious this morning. Let me get this coffee rolling and slow down just a little bit. Stop worrying so much about where I'm going, what I'm saying, what I'm doing. Just be here with you in this moment. Enjoy a nice cup of coffee in the camper car. Appreciate Jay Phillips and Brianna. Whoever else out there in YouTube land wants to stop and say hello, we appreciate you deeply. Working on a way to let go of the regret today. Hold on to something a little bit more tangible. Love. Appreciate it. It can be hard to hard to appreciate that, to let go of that regret, to live in appreciation, love, and respect. It can be how find the balance of holding on to it to keep the lesson, but letting go enough that regret doesn't consume us completely. I wonder I didn't even look at it. Looks like we got a pretty good signal here. Well, maybe that'll be the I don't know. Anyway, we're going to start slow and steady, nice and easy. Feel a little anxious, a little bit revved up. Well, we got the medicine. CBD is good for you. If you find yourself a little anxious, a little stressed, it helps me immensely. I've heard it doesn't help people at all. I've heard that, I've heard a lot of things about a lot of different things at a lot of different points in my life. But for me, CBD helps immensely. Settle my nerves, find a place to center, reflect with open, honest communication, with love and appreciation in my heart. Looks like we got a full signal. I wonder what's going on here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's check out the chat filter. It always says top messages. Yo, 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 IFV. It's good to see you there, big dog. Welcome in this morning. Once again, good sir, to the shit show that is my life. I say that with all appreciation, respect, and love for myself. Might not sound like the most loving thing to say. I'm sure it's not completely, but we're going to hold up that respect for ourselves, our family, our community, and figure out a way to alleviate that deep sense of darkness and loneliness and loss that comes with regret. You know, how do we hold on to the lesson and let go of the pain? You know, it's a tricky thing when it comes to regret. It's raining like it. Oh no. Holding up pretty well, brother. Holding up pretty well, and I appreciate you deeply. It's already starting to, whoa, maybe I should open up this door before we close up. I forgot about that part of it. Sorry, guys. One more shot. There we go. I don't want to blow myself up. There's a little tricky situation we're in here. Hope you're holding up together. How are you holding up today, IFV? How's all my brothers and sisters out there holding up today? Are we living in this moment of appreciation and hope? Or are we dwelling in regret? What it coulda, shoulda, or would have been if we could have made a different decision. If we could have just been a different human being, right? Oh, acceptance in the fact that we are who we are. We were who we were. And we need to find a way to move forward. You know, even through these things that I've thought I've let go still creep up on me at times. Wishing I could have been better. Wishing I could have done better. That whisper, it fuels that whisper that consumes us. Knowing that if I could have just made one move, if I could have been who I am now, then things could have been. Well, it's not how the way the world works. We have to take these lessons and find appreciation for the regret and let it go to the best of our ability. And I'm not sure exactly how to do that, but we're going to work on it together. I know that through time and in reflection, I've found a way to not hold certain moments against myself completely. The regret of losing brothers and feeling responsible and feeling like I should have done more, I could have been more, was consuming at first. Beyond words. It doesn't mean that there's still not some regret there now that I've moved forward. Not bad, made it hard, one dry wall and regret when past is very much so. You know, everything around us reminds us of that moment of regret, right? Sometimes, and it can be hard to shake out of it. I think open, honest communication is going to be the key for us to find some kind of peace in this world and appreciate this regret and the lessons, but not necessarily the regret, but the lessons that come along with it. You know, like referring to my brothers, and in that issue there, we oh my goodness, this is me in just days. Mr. E. In just days, he says. In just the last few days, Mr. E? Or in this moment? I'm not sure exactly what that statement means, unless I missed something. I feel like the chat, sometimes I miss it. Yep. Okay. Well, we appreciate having you, Mr. E. We're going to reflect on how we can accept these things and move forward. Work on a solution together of acceptance, love, and appreciation. Awesome. Well, not awesome. It's not an awesome thing that you understand it, but it's an awesome thing that you're here expressing yourself. And for that, good sir, We're going to take a moment and put you up onto the ceiling of champions, Mr. E. Thank you for expressing yourself. Today, that's all it'll take. A little bit of open to honest communication about where you are and what's going on with you. And we'll go ahead and put you onto the ceiling of Chester. Thank you, good sir, for your reflection, understanding of the conversation we're having this morning. What's good? What coffee you want? We're still cranking away on the death wish that Crank got us and sent us through Walmart. Slow and steady. We don't got much of that left, but we'll keep chipping away at that for a while. I found myself yesterday in this sense of regret for things that I've convinced myself that I've let go of. And convinced myself that I forgive myself for. And, I found myself wondering why. Why am I here again? Why am I in this place of remorse and regret for these things that are out of my control, these things that I've forgiven myself for? Mr. E, same Paul. Good morning, all country. Thank you. Good morning, country. And the first thought was, is this a catalyst? Is this something that makes the whisper louder or depression worse? Or is this something that brings it on? And I wasn't sure at first. I think you're meditating on that for a while. I think it's a little bit of both, we find ourselves in that regret. It can pull up these feelings. And when we're in that place, it could definitely make these feelings worse. Do me same undoer Paul undersleeve. Jay Phillips, you think you know our buddy there, Mr. E? Well, slow and steady today, nice and easy. We're gonna get there. I need to dump some caffeine on my brain. Everything's gonna be all white meat. I promise you that. Slow and steady, nice and easy. Today might be a painful day. Today might be full of regret, resentments, and remorse. But if we acknowledge it, we can move forward in a strong and passionate way with love, appreciation, and acceptance in our heart for what has come in the past and who we were while we made these decisions. Compassion for the child that went through it, I believe, is the most essential thing for letting go of the painful end of regret. I heard on my end. What are we talking about? Were you got something? You said something there. Try it again, there, brother. Do. You're wondering if everybody has two accounts there? As always, you could roll the dice. Well, you can't. Well, they're up there. We're not going to push that today. Today, we're going to get you on the wall of champions through reflection and appreciation, through understanding of this thing we call regret. Or you don't understand it. If you don't, that's a beautiful thing. Keep moving forward, doing the next right thing. You must be doing a lot of the next right thing if you don't understand the regret. We got, mate, different problems. It's all right, brother. Sometimes that's what it is. We'll keep moving forward with appreciation, acceptance, love, and hope. Despite the anxious nature of the day. Take a little bit of medicine, listen to some music, stick around for a while, have a cup of coffee, and know that you're not alone. I call sin regret. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Mr. E. I'd really like to explore that understanding. These things, sin, right, help us learn as well. You hold regret for all your sins, for passion, for... I don't know. Maybe, right? You hold regret on sinful things. I think I hold regret more for my actions of not being able to save the ones I loved. Not being able to, when I reflect on regret, it's the fact that I've lost these people I love so deeply, and I couldn't be a better son to them. I couldn't be a better brother or caregiver. In that moment, I didn't have the tools, the means, or the ability to be what could have given these people I love a better life. Uh, well, if we were look at an action in forget foresight, it's sin. Okay. So if we look at it before, yeah, yeah, I mean that would be a deeper sense of regret, right? If you if you truly looked forward for what was going to happen and you still went and did it, I guess yeah, I'm with you on that. Still waiting on this coffee to brew to get my brain going because I'm feeling a little bit off today, but that's all right. We're in this shit show together. We're gonna be all right. Regret is I do not have a French press. Jay Phillips. Well, I've got an extra one there in Pittsburgh. Maybe I could send it to you once I get to Pittsburgh. This one was a gift from Crank. It's weird the things that we regret sometimes. It's weird how it can come back at us in ways that we've thought we've let go. And to acknowledge this has allowed me to let go and appreciate that regret, I think, is what I'm working on. Do you live out of your car? No, sir. Name no one. Nemo. No. I travel out of my car. I'm searching for a home in this world of if I could even talk today. I think getting some caffeine in me, shaking this off, we're going to be all right moving forward. Just curious. That's all right, brother. This is the old camper car, the Galactic Avenger. I ripped the back seats out. I'm kind of full of BS right now, but I stick my feet in the trunk. Got a little kitchenette here where the passenger seat used to be, and I travel across the country doing the next right thing when I have the ability to do so. I've been kind of stuck here back in New York for a while. I might be taking the leap here soon, but I kind of want to get a little bit more stable with a vehicle that might be able to make it a little farther. Since we've got a million different issues with the old Galactic Avenger. Feel free to check out the old Galactic Avenger in my playlist, and you'll see a little bit more why. Hello from Dubai. God bless you, man. Regret is something really important to reflect on. Actions I did and are wrong. Thank you, safe SR. It's too early in the morning and my brain isn't clicking quite right today, but thank you. Yeah, we need to reflect on these things. And the most painful, deep regret I've ever felt has helped me to become something more. Wishing I could have been a better brother, wishing I would have said something to my brother when he needed me to say it. Now, whether that would have changed it or not, I've come to the point to realize that you can't expect anything from anybody when it comes to what you could have, should have, or would have done. Maybe it wouldn't have changed. Maybe it wouldn't have saved him. But I know that I wouldn't have to live in that regret that I lived in for so long if I did say the thing. Kansas is fun. Nothing to see. I got a buddy that lives in Kansas. Topeka, Kansas, actually. Dan Stout. It's been many years since we chatted, but I'd still consider him a friend. We grew up together. He's got a family and kids and a life, and no regrets there. Well, in this past life I lived, clouding myself and numbing myself from the pain and sorrow of living, running from everything. That's part of this regret that I find myself in, but you got to figure out a way to let go of that, who we were yesterday, and have compassion for the child that went through it. I truly believe that's going to help us get out of this place of regret. When it changes what you will do now. Thank you, Mr. E. Very much so. Hopefully, if we truly appreciate and reflect on whatever these things are that we regret, we can make a different decision. And I know that with my biggest regret in my life, not saying something to my brother when I had the chance, not calling him out on his drug abuse and what he was using. We were partiers. We did a little bit of everything, and we drank, and but he was into something that I knew was a hell of a lot heavier, and he was in a real rough spot. And I was a young man. I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't know how to express myself. I was so scared to lose him. I just thought everything was going to be fine. And for many years, I lived in regret not saying the thing. So if you're out there today and someone you love is struggling with their addiction, or they're struggling with something that you feel could be detrimental to their life, even if you feel like it's going to be okay, I implore you to say the thing, so you don't have to live in that regret. For many years, there was this deep, dark regret of losing Steve, because I didn't say anything to him in that moment. I didn't call him out on his bullshit and let him know he's full of shit, and I know he's using, and I know he's hurting, and he needs help. Um, but we can't live in that moment forever. We got to find a way out of it. We got to find a way to push forward with appreciation, love, and respect in ourselves for ourselves, and to know that I took that regret and I did something a little bit different with Rob. And now that didn't necessarily help. I wish I would have done more. But at this point, I did something different recently with another friend, with another person I care for deeply, that seems to be helping them. And it took both of those scenarios for me to have the strength to say everything I needed to say to this person who's struggling with the same thing my brothers struggled with. And they seem to be doing better. Hello there, Lewis. We appreciate you, Lewis. Sally, sorry, V, my heart breaks for you. Did I miss something up here? And I'm sorry to hear that as well, IFE. We appreciate you pointing it out there, Sally. It's a crazy thing, right? It's hard not to live in regret in that scenario, especially explicitly, right? That's how I lost my first brother, my friend. That's how Steve left this world, through taking his own life because of the pain and anguish that he was in through fiending for this drug. He was on heroin. They found heroin and cocaine in his system. And that day he was running around looking to find a fix, I guess, as far as the story is told. And I missed him by 15 minutes. And it's funny, the things we regret. I regretted sitting up there at OCC trying to figure out how I was going to get back into good academic standing. I could have sat up there, and it was so crazy. I couldn't even figure out if I sat there for 15 minutes or 2 hours, or wishing I would have left that place a couple minutes earlier so I could have been there. That regret was immense. And it's crazy that the idea of regret is these things that we wish we could change, that we could have done differently. And sometimes regret just consumes us, despite the fact that we couldn't have done anything differently. I didn't know any better, in that moment. I didn't know that he was struggling the way he was struggling. I should have known better. I wish I would have known better. I wish I would have been able to be there for him and help him get through the struggle he was in. But there's no way to go back, And even in that moment of pain and anguish and regret has helped me to grow. And I handled the situation with Rob a little differently. I said it, maybe I didn't say it as adamantly, but I only had the tools that I had in any given moment to be there the way that I was. And I have to give myself the love and respect that comes along with that. Again, this self-reflection of anxiousness and wow, I'm just feeling a bit off. I was feeling, these waves of emotions lately have been tormenting. But it's all right. We're in this shit show together. We're going to find a way through the anguish and pain, and accept the regret and lessons that, let go of the regret, but accept the lessons that come along with these scenarios that consume us. It's a very complicated thing, right? It sounds real simple. Scott W., hello. Oh, good morning at the gym working out. Much love and respect. Appreciate you very much, SW. James with the big hello. Pickle Rick. There will never be the right time to do heroin again. No. Yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out, Pickle Rick. And we're going to put you up onto the wall of champion ignition. And keep that with you. In whatever way possible you can today, and strive to become something more, because that drug will take you. It took both my brothers. Pickle Rick. What a guy. The biggest problem I have is that I could be a pickle, but only when I wanna. Pickles Rick, it says. Make sure we get it right. Expressing yourself. We know how I understand from ones I've loved how much pain and anguish that drug can cause. Mystery, okay, peace out. Gonna work on this dang bike today. I hate it, but it's what I'm going to try to get going. Thank you, Mystery. Well, hopefully you're part of the Turtle Herd now. You hit that little red subscribe button. Where is it? There it is, right there. And we could chat with you a bit more. Feeling a little bit off, feeling a little bit, but we're gonna shake through it. Have a cup of coffee, find a place of rest. Sometimes creeps up. It's not good to live in regret. Thank you, country. You're right. It's trying to find that balance. These things that kind of hit in waves when I'm feeling certain ways. Like I've let go, or I thought I've let go completely of this regret for Steve, especially, and for Rob, and at points I have. At points I can say that regret no longer consumes me. But when we find ourselves in a dark place, sometimes it feels like it's right there. Sometimes it feels like that regret is this moment all over again. And it's hard to find a way through that pain and anguish. Sally, hey, Scott and Scott, that was his destiny. It could have gone help. He knows that. He know now how much you cared for him. James. Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, you're very much right, Sally. We got to accept what it is and how it goes. But I think acceptance is a huge part of letting go of all that regret of loss. And those are the biggest things. I look at what I really regret. I've been able to forgive myself and the child that went through it. These, the tools that I had in the moment, and my inability to be anything else than what I was in the past. My biggest regrets are from the ones I've lost. This feeling of letting them down and wishing I could have been more. And I know that along with everything else, expressing myself fully, despite how weird and anxious it makes me feel, truly being open about it is the way through it. And I'm glad that we can have this conversation together today. Yeah, my mom was a long time. Hey, Scott W. Hello, James. Thank you so much, Sally, and everyone for stopping in today. I understand drug abuse. Well, we hope that you're fighting against that, good sir. Pickles Rick. It's a blessing to have you in today. Your open, honest communication is a blessing, good sir. The fact that you made it to that place to be able to find some remnants of love and respect for yourself, where you can admit it and know that you don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I don't know if you guys can hear the phone ringing, but I'm hoping that I can just give one of these. There we go. I do got to make that phone call, or when I get off the phone. Slow and steady today. We're going to do this for a little while, find our sense of peace. That's Terry. Hopefully she's feeling better today. And we'll chat with her about the title of the food truck that was gifted to me for helping her out with painting her house. Let's get a cup of coffee and us relax a little bit. Slow down and know that it's all going to be all right. I understand drug abuse. Well, you're in the right place there, good sir. Crew, let's get busy on coffee. 23 watches, 10 likes, double tap that screen. Your fingers won't fall off. I almost guarantee you that. If you do decide to double tap that screen, if your fingers do fall off, we always thought they shouldn't have. Without a doubt, good sirs and madams. Today we're going to openly express ourselves, despite the anxious feeling that courses through my veins because of this topic. The regret could also be part of grieving process. Thank you, country. I believe that too. And the regret kind of morphs as we go forward as well, correct? It's like I said, when it first happened, there was so much regret and I so much pain and anguish for what happened and what I could have done differently, and how I owned it so completely. It's my fault. I know I should have been a better brother. I should have said the thing that needed to be said, with no compassion for myself, the child that was going through this thing, this human being that didn't have the strength in that moment, didn't have the tools to say the thing that I wish I would have said. Sometimes the most powerful tools take that struggle and pain, and we can't get them any other way. I can proudly say that it's brought me to this moment, and just recently I've been able to help someone I care for immensely through open, honest communication because of the regret that I've felt for losing my brothers to their addiction in one way or another. You know, trying to understand the value thereof and the appreciation we find in this community of open to honest communication. Let's see where we are. I think I missed something. Hi, Scott W. Please, Pickle Rick. I understand. There we go. Take a breath. Don't allow ourselves to be consumed by this regret that plagues us. I think we all feel a bit of it. I couldn't imagine. Let's see. 76% of people understand regret. That's good. It's better that we all don't understand it. I was like almost convinced that everybody would say yes to that. Nailed it. Just made the best coffee. No regrets here. I feel like I nailed it pretty good. No regret on my coffee this morning either. They sewed mine back on. Table saw took them off. I regret sticking my hand in the table saw. I would see that would be a reasonable regret. Well, now you know you're not going to stick your hand in the table saw anymore. There's the premise of the day, right? To take this regret and this anguish and allow it to help us become something more. Despite the struggle there. MD, we appreciate you deeply for stopping in and saying hello. Yeah, I was watching the coffee looked strong. It's got a little kick to it. I think to not get lost in it all, to find a way to keep moving and forgive ourselves and that child that went through it, to take ourselves out of the scenario once again and look at it as if it was somebody else and how, you know, someone we love, someone we care for, someone we respect, and how would we address that for that person? It'd be a hell of a lot different. I wouldn't blame anybody who's gone through what I went through with someone they love the way I blamed myself for so long. How it was my fault, and this is my regret, and this is my pain, and no one will ever take it from me. I didn't deserve to live in that, neither do you. And if I could help someone pull themselves out of it or realize that 1 second sooner, then that adds value to what happened. It adds value to the regret. Now, as a human, I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I won't want to change what happened. But torturing myself over what could have, should have, and would have been is not going to help me learn and grow. It's not going to help me add value to the scenario that brings me so much pain. What adds value is this open, honest communication here, where we can come together as a group. Hope you've been well. Haven't been online in a while. I'm still here, brother. Thank you, Zach. Zach Troy, or Zach, there's no K at the end. Troy, thank you, Troy. We appreciate you, Troy. I took a little break myself, and we're finding our way back to that place of positivity, love, and hope and respect through the regret and pain that this world tends to lay at our feet, that we tend to torture ourselves with. And that's the reality of it all. Regret is one of these things that we torture ourselves with. You know, we're going to find value in it, and we're going to find the lessons. We're going to help our brothers and sisters. We're going to help ourselves by acknowledging the lessons that come from these regrets. Or we're going to treat ourselves the way that we would treat someone we love that has been through the things that we regret, that had to make those decisions because that's all the tools they had. I guess that's the theme of the day. You know, and with open, honest communication, feeling a little anxious, feeling a little rough. Do you understand regret, Troy? How do you work through it? How do we find a way to truly forgive ourselves for these things we've been through? through the decisions that we've made, or the indecisions, through not saying anything. That's my biggest regret with my brother Steve, for not saying anything in that moment where I knew what was going on. My father called him out on what was going on, and what, and I just said I didn't know, even though I knew there was something. That moment consumed me for years, and not so much anymore, but there's still this inkling of regret that I wish it could be different. I find my way through that by understanding that moment helped me to help others in a very prolific way. Without that moment, I possibly couldn't have saved someone so very recently I love so deeply. And I believe that I saved this person through fighting through the fear of not saying something, fighting through the fear that I might lose this person. Well, it doesn't matter. If you have something to say and someone you love is hurting, and you're scared you might lose them by telling them the truth, it's more important that you tell them the truth, and they might not be around for a while, that you live in that regret for the rest of your life. And I remember there was points where I was being told to let it go, and I would get so angry. It's mine. It's the last thing I have left of my brother, and I'm going to own it. Like, this responsibility for what happened because of my actions. And it didn't happen because of my actions, but I mean, because of my actions, it could have made it different, right? The living in that split of reality where it could have been different is a painful thing. It couldn't have been different. It could only play out exactly the way it played out, so we can learn the lessons that we need to learn. I think I deal with a bit of that too as well, IFE. To dig into that concept a little bit more, and but I believe a big part of that is survivor's remorse, is regret, wishing that it could have been different, wishing that we could have loved differently, wishing we could have said the thing that we were too scared to say because we were afraid we were going to lose someone we love so deeply. That's the survivor's guilt. Is horrible. It should have been me, right? I should have been the one to do this, to teach him the lesson of how valuable life is, right? But that's a horrible thought, We're here now for an absolute beautiful reason with my brothers, especially in this moment, speaking of regret. Because I let go of this regret. It honors my brothers, but I hold on to the lessons so that I can become something more, so that I can help my brothers and sisters out there in YouTube land, and our fellow travelers and Turtle Herd members, and this survivor's guilt that we struggle with. It can be something else. It can be outside of our realm of understanding at times. I have regret, but Country says, I have regrets, but I've made atonements with them. I have decided not to live in the past and not to live in fear. Thank you, Country. Thank you so much for expressing yourself in that deep and true and passionate way. I've made that decision as well. I've made that decision not to live in that fear and regret and resentment for myself because of the past. It's just, at times it creeps up on me a little bit, and when that whisper starts to become a roar, when I start to realize that I'm falling back into that place of resentments and anger for myself, despite how uncomfortable it is, I just wanted to acknowledge that this morning, because it's an uncomfortable thing for me to acknowledge. I feel uncomfortable right now having this conversation, despite the vigor and this adamant determination to have this conversation so that we can learn and grow together as a group. The Country Strong, we appreciate you deeply. No, not Country Strong, Country. We appreciate you deeply. I don't know why Country Strong came to mind, but we're going to give you a spot right over here. How's that sound there, Country? Thank you for you acknowledging that. Thank you for helping us. We must let go to a certain extent so we can find peace in our heart. The peace that our loved ones that have gone on ahead want for us, without a doubt. I know for sure my brothers don't want me to live in that pain and that fear and that resentment and regret and remorse. It's just hard not to fall there at points, loneliness and depression and grief. It all swirls together at times. and consumes us. And I feel like that's a lot of what's been going on with me lately, and I want to recognize it. Um, Scholar nor scientist or you know, but I'm pretty sure it does, man. That survivor's guilt. I think the core of that is regret, regretting that we could have done something different, that we're here and they're not, and that overwhelming feeling that we could have done something different is based in regret. You know, for me anyway, and I hope that we together as a group find a way through it, so that we can push forward and become something more, so that we can find love and compassion and appreciation in our hearts for who we are in any given moment. I definitely won't regret coming to see you there, James. I appreciate you. We can easily slip into it. It is an everyday. It's an everyday confirmation for me. Thank you, country. Yeah, and that's part of it too. You know, we let these things go. We can't. I think I've let these things go completely, right? I think that I've been able to heal from them completely, and then I get sideswiped by this feeling of regret, of wishing I could have done more, knowing it could have been different if I knew better, right? And those are more lies that whisper in the back of our mind tells us, more lies that we don't deserve to live in. You know, you only did exactly what you could do in that moment with the tools you have. I strive to pick up these tools and find a way to openly communicate about these painful things, so that I can grow and heal and not live in regret. Do the next right thing in this moment. Say the thing that's hard. Push through and do the thing that's hard. You know, say no when no needs to be said for your own personal growth. Dogs help me live in now. She regrets nothing. And that's a beautiful thing, right? My Bun Bun lives in the moment as well. I don't think he has many regrets. The compassion and appreciation, love and understanding that came from all this regret. That's a beautiful thing, despite the pain that it took to get us here. Survivor's guilt. I appreciate you bringing that up, my IFV. It's I think it's another thing I have to work on. That's another thing I have to acknowledge completely, so I can move forward through all this death that I've experienced. There's a lot of survivor's guilt. And what started this thought process was my grams, and how I regret not being able to help her in the way that she wanted to be helped, and more so not being able to help her in a way that could have allowed the end of her life to be a little bit more peaceful. I gave her as much as I could, when I could, and I had nothing else to give. You know, why do I hold on to this regret? You know, I wish I had a nice place and I could afford nurses and I could cater to her 24/7 when she was in that pain. We had a friend yesterday touch base on dementia, and that's what got me thinking about my grams. And then it's one little bit of regret that starts us snowballing into all of it. But I'm here with you now, standing strong, saying I won't let that regret consume me. And you don't deserve to live in that place either, my friends, my brothers and sisters. Hindsight is 2020. Yes, it is. A retrospect's a bitch, isn't it? You know? And that's what I mean. Like, people say you just do certain things and it's all, and you can just let it all go. But I don't think that certain things should be let go completely. I think letting go of the pain and the personal responsibility for this regret that we find ourselves in is a beautiful thing. But I don't think letting go of the lesson is a good thing at all. Daniel Warman says, my regret often results in bad karma. Bless you, my friend. Thank you, Daniel, for expressing yourself. We're going to put you up onto the ceiling of champions here in just 1 second, good sir. Your open to honest communication helps us learn and grow, and I hope that you take that to heart the next time you start feeling regret. That regret has some kind of purpose, because you can understand the struggle that your brothers and sisters are going through, and just through that simple statement you know, truth will help us grow, Daniel. It's a very appreciated thing, man. Beyond words, and without, we put you up onto the ceiling of champions here, Daniel. I hope you just turtle herd by hitting that little red button on the top of the screen. Today's a little bit more of a somber day than I anticipated. It's a little bit more of a struggle to speak on this, but that's okay. Some days the struggle is worth it. Today it's worth it. Warming. Daniel Warman. We appreciate your open, honest communication today, Daniel, and your understanding of regret and how it will distort our world if we allow it to consume us. A lot of the times we feel we let them down and that we could have lived had we done it different. They could have lived if we had done it different. On tour, there's things happen in a moment, and life can play out over years. That's the thing. So see, I think a big part of regret is living in that one moment, right? Living in that moment, sitting on the couch there as my brother went to walk in the back room with someone I knew who had heroin, and that's what they were going to do. And he's bullshitting me, telling me he's going to nap, and I didn't have the balls to tell him that he's full of shit. Our father sat there and confronted them and asked them what they were doing and where they were going. Oh, nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I should have known better, right? That moment, right? That one small moment has caused so much regret in my life. But that regret allowed me to change my actions with Rob. I did say something to the best of my ability. I did, and then living in the regret that it wasn't enough, that I didn't push hard enough for him to be adamant about what he needed. I just thought it was going to be okay. Still, after all the loss, I still thought he was going to be fine until I got that call. And then living in that regret that I wish I would have said or did something more has pushed me to say the thing that needs to be said. And I implore you that if you're out there today, to say the thing that needs to be said. And thank you, IFV, for your expression. Troy, I do understand regret too, and my childhood mates. There we go. Hey, come on, stop, you thing that keeps jumping on me. Childhood mates I grew up with passed away. First one was in jail over drugs, and one was outside of jail and overdosed on heroin. I regret I could only go to one funeral. We appreciate you, Troy, for expressing your regret. That's how we're going to get through it together. It's how we're going to push through and become something more and not allow this regret to destroy us, Zach. I think I'd say that. Z-A, there's no K at the end, and maybe I'm tripping, but Zach Troy. You're a hell of a human being, Zach. And I implore you, from the outside looking in, you don't deserve that. I feel that truly, but it's truly hard to embody that 24/7. I appreciate your open, honest communication. Yes, sir. Thank you, Daniel Warman. Zach, Troy, again, I can't fit all of what I've wanted to say. I regret I wasn't in the best place. I feel selfish. I never see them again. Shout out Kara and Chase, my very good mates. And I wasn't on heroin. I was on subs. Shout out to Rob and Steve. Shout out to all the love lost. All the things unsaid. Find a sense of peace in our heart. Acceptance that we only had the tools that we had in any given moment. In that moment, my brother, I'm sure that if you had the tools you had now, this understanding that came through this regret and pain, that you would have done something different. So would have I, right? And we know better. We're children in certain extents. We must learn these tools and be willing to pick them up. How willing are you to pick up the tools if you don't have a struggle to push you to pick up said tools, I think. And there's where the respect for this regret comes in, I guess. This other end of the thought of that, it's like, If I could let it all go, if it could all just be fine, would I? Well, how would that help someone in the future that I love? How would that help you out there if you're struggling? If I just didn't have any qualms completely with all these things that have happened, when I couldn't acknowledge, that there's regret in my heart, how could that truly help my brothers and sisters? And it's a hard thing to say that there's any kind of positivity in any of this pain, in any of this regret, in any of this loss. But if it helps us to make a different decision in this moment, I believe there's some value in it. We just have to find a way to not let it consume us. That's where I kind of, it's a slippery slope, right? We go from acknowledgement to rumination real quick. And where's that line? I think that it's become a societal norm for us to just push it all down and let it go and be okay with it. I don't know if it can ever fully be okay when it comes to regret. I don't know. I don't know if it should be ever fully be okay. Give me 1 second. We'll catch back up on the comments. I just wanted to make sure that I reflected on what everybody has to say today. Losing the keys can hurt too. Very much so, sir. Not the same hurt, but what a pain. Yeah, I'm with you. I love you, mate. Thank you, mate. You're welcome, Troy. I appreciate you being here today. DraftKings Sportsbook, good morning. Keep grinding, big dog. Thank you, DraftKings. It's a blessing to have you in today. Today we're speaking a little bit on regret, how we push through and learn from it, how we don't let it consume us. When these moments of regret tend to hit us out of the blue. That whisper, how that regret gives that whisper so much strength that it can feel overwhelming and consuming. And some tools to help pull ourselves out of it, to get out of that rumination there, DraftKings Sportsbook, is what we're looking to do, to stay in more of a positive, loving, appreciative state. Do you understand regret there, good sir? Share with us whatever you'd like to share. Whatever you're comfortable with or not is perfectly fine, good sir. You're a valued member of this community, DraftKings, and we appreciate you deeply. Some people regret meeting me. That makes me feel bad. Yeah, I'm with you too. I've had a lot of people regret me being in their life for one reason or the other, for decisions I've made, for these things that I thought were good for me in any given moment. I regret not being able to communicate clearly when love's involved, but love makes it complicated. It's hard to say the thing you need to say to someone you care for deeply when there's love involved, because you're afraid you might lose them. We don't regret, yeah. And without a doubt, James, I don't regret meeting you, brother. I appreciate all the conversations, all the connections. I appreciate your growth and your love and acceptance for all the things that we chat about here. Your willingness to communicate is a blessing, my friend. Your willingness to be here despite my anxious feeling this morning and stick it through and have the hard conversation. I don't regret meeting James. Me neither. Tommy, hey Scott, how you doing today, brother? We're doing all right. We're pushing forward. I think we're gonna start doing a little bit slow and steady. It can't be an everyday thing. Is one of the things I'm working on. So I took yesterday off, and throughout my day yesterday, the way that it played out, I found myself living in a little bit of regret, quite a bit of regret. So I decided to reflect on that regret and give it the weight that it deserves, and have a conversation about that regret, despite this topic making me feel anxious and unsure. That's not a bad thing. Reflecting on the lessons through regret, how we can become something more through holding on to a small piece of it, but letting go of the pain and anguish that comes along with it. Finding purpose through the regret, knowing that I am who I am and I can do what I do because of what I went through, shines light on everything that's happened. it makes it worth it to a certain extent. And that's hard to admit, because I'd do anything to have my brothers, my father, my mother, my cousin, my aunt, my stepfather, and all these people that I wish I could have done more for. Hey, Scott, how are you doing, brother? We're doing all right there, Tommy boy. Tommy boy, thank you, IFE. I don't regret meeting you either. Awesome. Regrets. Oh, man, what a bitch she is, says DraftKings Sportsbook. I've got plenty of regrets in life. What I've learned is just to do best to reflect on what you regret, but then let it go. If you don't, it'll eat you alive. Thank you, DraftKings Sportsbook. Your open, honest communication grants you another spot on the ceiling of champions. You are up and showing love, respect, and that through your true understanding of the topic. To openly and honestly communicate. Finding a way through the struggle and pain that is regret. And utilizing the lessons that have come along with it. We can't just be blind to it, right? We can't just pretend like it never happened and block it out, because where are the lessons there? How will we learn and grow from just acting like everything's okay? And I guess that's where I'm at. It's just acknowledging this regret and the lessons that have come along with it. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you deeply. And we're here to listen to you too, man. If there's anything, any advice you might have for holding on to the lessons and letting go of the struggle, that'd be appreciated. Anything you want to express of regret in your life or the things you've learned about it, feel free. Or if not, man, that's okay. You're a solid dude. If people regret meeting you, they're probably not worth worrying about. I'm with you on that, IFV. When it comes to James, you are a solid dude. I think that a lot of people, when they regret meeting us, it's because they can't handle this energy that we project, and they don't want to hear the things we have to say, and that's all right. That's okay. You don't have to hear what I have to say. You don't have to be anything but what you are in any given moment, and I appreciate you for being that. That difference between us is what's going to help us learn and grow. It's going to help us find a sense of love and compassion for ourselves through the regret, through the survivor's remorse. Which is a crazy thing, your IFV, and I really appreciate you pointing that out. I'm doing my best to evaluate truly and deeply these things that drag me back down into that place, and there's a lot of survivor's remorse. I have thought in the past that it would have been better to be me, so that my brothers could learn this lesson, and how great they would have been, and the impact they would have made on this world if they could have learned the lesson I learned. How much pain and anguish. But it can't be anything but what it is in this very moment, good sirs and madams. Good morning, Mr. Boston. We appreciate you deeply. It's good to see you today, brother. We speak on regret and this delicate balance that we're looking to find, of appreciating it and taking the lessons from it, but not allowing it to consume us completely. We're pushing forward together, the turtle herd. All for one and one for all. Good sirs and madams in YouTube land. All you got to do is hit that little red button up there. That one right there. And you can become part of the turtle herd. And, there'll be some moments of somber reflection and appreciation. Open to honest communication. There'll be a lot of moments of love, respect, and honesty. If you look through the shorts in my channel, a lot of that has to do with the adventure and finding our way out of this pain. But I just wanted to take some time this morning, no matter how awkward it feels for me to have this conversation. You deserve to be in a place of love, respect, and appreciation in your heart, through the regret, through this survivor's remorse, through this challenging, painful thing that consumes us because of who we were and the decisions we made. Thank you, Mr. Boston. It means a lot. You guys have helped me to accept this world on its terms most of the time. I still struggle deeply, and I still got a lot of things I should do, and a lot of fear and resentments in my heart, mostly for myself. It's so easy to take that out on ourselves, right? To make it our fault. And this human nature of that it must be somebody's fault, right? You can't type anything. Why? Oh, well, it's okay. Don't worry about it. If you can't, you can't, MD. We know you're here and we appreciate you deeply. Thank you. He typed that, he says. Touche, Mr. Boston. Touche, MD. MD is a very busy and important human being, so no expectations on our end, MD, but we appreciate seeing that glimmer of blue light shining through the abyss today. And it's going to be a beautiful day. Today is a beautiful day because we're going to make it. No, they're going through now. If they weren't going through, I tend to have some issues with that. I don't know what's going on. We got 35 voters. 77% of 35 people said they understand regret. You're not in this alone. Think about buying a magnet to hunt for that last anchor. The last magnet we got strong enough. It was a $1,400 anchor. I regret losing it. I would assume so. Losing $1,400 into the abyss seems like something worth regretting. How deep was the body of water that you lost said anchor in there, Mr. Boston? And I guess that hits the nail on the head there too. Like how much should we let regret push us forward, right? 30 feet, that's deep, man. That's deep, right? So how much effort before we have to let go, right? How much effort till we let go of that $1,400, that $1 million thing that might be lost to the sea, right? I'm not telling you to give up right away. You already spent 8 hours on it, maybe the magnet thing. In the ocean, of course. Of course. Use a scan schooner and you could see it. That'd be a good idea there, James. We appreciate the heads up. What do you think, Mr. Boston? A scan schooner? You think that would help you? Do they rent them? Or is this something you could borrow, possibly? Anyhowsen, here we are with a game plan for today. I'm going to go forward and do a little bit more spark driving. You know, it didn't go so well yesterday, but I still chipped away a couple dollars towards the goal. I'm not even sure exactly what that is at this point, but we're going to push forward and do the next right thing to the best of our ability. So give it a little bit more effort, you know, and then I couldn't even say. I don't know where the line is with that, but there's got to be a line with everything, right, when it comes to regret. How much effort do we put in before we just let go completely? $1,400 worth of effort, I would say, at this point. And once you hit that point, we got to let go, right? Holy dude. Anyhowsen. I'm not sure today. Again, feeling a bit anxious. The CBD helps quite a bit. That might be all I got. I'm not sure exactly. And we shouldn't give up easy. I appreciate that about you, Mr. Boston. Don't let the regret of losing this thing torment your life. If it becomes a hindrance on your life, then let it go. There's the recommendation. I know it's a $1,400 anchor and you regret deeply losing it, but it's metaphorically the same as any other regret. How much effort are you going to put in before you let it go completely? And if you don't ever find that anchor, I'm sure it'll creep up on you every once in a while and kick you in the ass. Was this on a personal voyage, or was this something to do with work, or? We appreciate you, MD. Thank you for stopping in. MD, before you go, you had homework, And I was wondering if you ever took and found yourself something nice. What did you do for yourself? If not, take that with you today because you have homework. To do something kind and compassionate, to buy yourself something, to do something just for you that you would do for someone that you love, something that we discussed a few days ago that hit me last night. Family voyage. Now, teammate? No, or is that a no? I think that's a no. That can be the biggest struggle, right? But you helped me by helping you find a way through that and figure out a way to take care of yourself today, MD. Figure out a way to treat yourself. I bought myself a milkshake yesterday. I didn't need it, and I tried to talk myself out of it. And then I realized this is what I'm going to do for me today. I'm glad you've been cooking. That's a great thing to do. But is that solely for you? That was the homework. Do something solely for yourself today. Find something that can help you find passion, love, and respect for yourself through doing for you. And let's slowly start to build that avenue of finding respect and love for ourselves. It's a beautiful thing to do for others. But as Al would say, we have to find a balance between happiness and joy. Happiness comes from doing for ourselves, and joy comes from doing for others. And we get so used to doing for others that joy is the only thing we sustain off of. There must be a balance in there. Your Russian girlfriend lives across the street. You got him close, James. I don't know if that's a good idea. Do you regret her living across the street? And I do. I look forward to coming and checking you out, James. We're getting closer every day to getting into something that'll be a little bit safer to drive, or maybe I'll end up getting something safer to drive besides the old Galactic Avenger, and we'll still just run this bad boy into the ground. The inspection's up at the end of the month, and I'm doing my best. Sharks. Be careful of sharks there in the ocean. And again, too, just evaluate how much time and effort you're putting into this anchor. How much is that magnet going to cost? What is your time worth? Is it diminishing time that you could spend with people you care for? Or are you just going to be out there on the boat shooting the shit, looking for it? Will it enhance your time, They don't bug you. You got some shark repellent? Was that Batman shark repellent there? Wasn't that an episode way back in the day with Adam West's Batman? I understand that need, but at a certain point, we're going to have to let go. Good morning, Perkins. We appreciate you stopping in today. Bye. We're going to catch you later, MD. Get at your homework. Something for yourself. Some kind, compassionate action that you would do for someone you love. I appreciate that you're making your neighbor's food, but that wasn't the homework. Something solely and simply for yourself today, MD. You deserve it. We got to slowly and surely start doing these things and making them habits so that we can find a sense of purpose for ourselves, a sense of happiness through self-care is part of the solution, I believe. And letting go of these diminishing statements. I believe nothing. I know that finding this balance between happiness and joy is something that'll help us move forward. Bull sharks are more aggressive than great whites. I did not know that. Either way, I'm not a big fan of swimming around with any sharks. Can you make it down 30 feet? You got any diving experience, or is this something you got to have to get from the surface? See you later, alligators. After a while, crocodile. We'll catch you soon there, MD, and appreciate you deeply for stopping in today. I'm going to probably cut it off here pretty soon and get moving forward and do something for myself. Go do a little spark drive and get a couple dollars closer to the goal of getting us into a better travel vehicle so that we can... No problem, Lewis. We appreciate you stopping in today. And I might not see you guys for a couple days. Long Lake in the Adirondacks is where I'm headed this weekend. Hopefully we'll have some pretty good videos. I highly doubt I'll have a signal up there to be able to be able to communicate. We appreciate you, MD. All the love, respect, and appreciation in our hearts. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you for being a part of the Turtle Herd and helping us find a sense of center through the regret, through this anguish that consumes us. I do need to do some more shorts. I'm going to do some shorts this weekend. If we go camping, I'll make some videos and we can make some shorts of Long Lake up in the Adirondacks. And I'm pretty terrified of sharks too. That's not really my thing. So I might not see you guys for a couple days, but maybe a couple days off is what we need. Is what I need. I've been reflecting on that as well. It's I said Joe Rogan the other day was talking about working out and and how we fail because we decide we're going to do it and we go 10,000 miles an hour. We decide we're going to take care of ourselves and we burn ourselves out. And I think that's a big reflection on what I do emotionally. I get to this place where I feel emotionally invigorated, and I push forward. And I burn myself out. 0 days off, Scott W. says. Well, I think that in the situation you're in the situation that we find ourselves in at point, 0 days off is good, but we must find a way to take care of ourselves eventually, good sir. Haven't been to work in 35 years. That's a beautiful thing there, James. You can help me figure that out. I haven't had a job in quite some time, but I do what I do to the best of my ability on a daily basis. Damn, 35 years. Yeah, right? That's a hell of a time. James out here living the dream. Thousands of girlfriends. Owns his own dispensary. And hasn't had to work in 35 years. That's absolutely awesome. I'm sure you work on a daily basis, just not... if you can find what you enjoy, never work a day in your life. Just play. I like that, IFV. And that's part of this too, is the next right thing concept that I'm working on, that I lose track of at times. It doesn't feel like work when I'm in that moment striving to help Sally or help whoever else might be in Sally's shoes. Well, I know this weekend hiking's been on the agenda with a good friend for a while, and I'm going to do something a little different than I've ever done before. We're hiking into the woods and staying in a lean-to underneath the stars, I guess, to a certain extent. Work at the things you love, good sirs and madams. I think I'll procrastinate with one more cigarette, and then we'll move forward. Scott W. I'm going to give you another spot up onto the ceiling, Scott W. I know it's been a struggle lately, and you've been here with us, and that means a lot. Keep pushing forward, keep being passionate and appreciative and loving, and let go of the past. Embrace the future and live in this moment to the best of our ability is the best thing I can recommend. How do we do that? I'm not exactly sure. I'm working on it. It seems like it's going to be a fun time. Get some dehydrated food, and we're only going over for a night, so we're leaving tomorrow morning early, somewhere up to Long Lake. Hike in about 7 miles, 5, 6, 7 miles, if it's not too overpacked where we decide to go. If not, I guess there's a plan B, but I leave that up to Randos. He's the map guy. Air in that boat before winter. Yes, we got to do something with that eventually. I don't think I'll be hiking with that thing in all the way in there. Maybe I will. We'll see if it fits in the pack. Maybe I will bring it in and float around with it a little bit. We'll see how that goes. No expectations. Slow and steady. Nice and easy today, my friends. Frank, I love you too, brother. Appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate you expressing yourself in a loving and compassionate way, Crank. We're going to give you a spot up on the old roof there for expressing yourself there, good sir, this morning. Yeah, it should be a good time, brother. I'm assuming. It's been a long time making serious threats about getting up there and doing something with myself for a while. Today, I'm going to make a couple bucks and go get what I need to survive one full treacherous day in the woods. If I don't make it back, 7 miles into the woods was too deep here for traveling scout, I suppose. But no regrets, right? No regrets. In this moment, in the decisions we make, we move forward, reflecting on those regrets so that we don't have to live in those moments again. And understanding the value of those regrets can be a hard thing. Understanding that those scenarios that we were put in, we needed to learn the lessons that we needed to learn so we could be here in this moment with our brothers and sisters, expressing ourselves fully and openly. Knowing that there's value in these things and in this moment beyond our understanding. I think it can be a hard thing to truly embrace. If anybody out in YouTube land is feeling regretful, remorseful, or lost, we're here for you today. And part of me wants to apologize for feeling the way that I feel this morning, but it's all right. I'm still here. We're still here together. It's okay to feel off on days and still express yourself to the best of your ability. Night of the Living Dead. Well, let's hope not. And if there ain't too many zombos up in the Adirondacks, I believe, if they hit. So I think we're going to be all right. That was a hell of a movie. Remember the double VHS? It was pretty crazy. Anyway, with that being said, if I don't see you till Monday, know that you guys are all in my thoughts, my prayers, my heart, and my appreciation. Thank you for allowing me to express myself today and figure this out just a little bit better, so I can accept the lessons that come along with this regret and move forward so it doesn't consume me completely. You're a blessing beyond words to have this avenue and this place of communication, respect, love, and admiration is a true blessing. Thank you, 360. It's good to see you, brother. How are you holding up today? Are you doing all right? And James, we got to get down there and see you sometime soon. We got to find something, do something. I'm not even sure exactly what it is. One step at a time. It doesn't matter. Today, we're going to do a little spark driving, and we're going to get a couple dollars closer to where we have to be. You too, IFE. Take some time and take care of yourself. Find hope, love, and appreciation for who you are. Fridays are good. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be absolutely amazing because we're going to make it. Acceptance, appreciation, and respect despite the struggle. It's a beautiful thing when we can embody this completely. You feel that little twinkle of regret, survivor's guilt, or remorse for who or what you've been. Realize it brought you here and that you're a beautiful, valuable human being. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion as you'd treat someone you love deeply. With that being said, I appreciate you allowing me to express myself. It's time for me to be off like a herd of turtles. Slow and steady, nice and easy. Well, you're always welcome, James. One of these days we'll have our own little adventure, I'm sure of it. But for now, that's Traveling Scott, tuning out with a little bit more respect and admiration for myself and the regret that I've gone through open, honest, and communication. Truly reflecting on the value that regret has brought to my life. Has helped me to move forward in a way that seemed impossible at certain points. And I appreciate everyone expressing themselves today in a true and open way, so that we could find a way to appreciate who we were and have respect and love for the child that went through it, for that human being you were yesterday and the lack of tools you may have had. So I'm off like a herd of turtles. I love you guys. Wish me luck today, and I'll chat with you soon.